They say the best things come from the worst shit.
Damn, just condolences to the family and just pray for him. It's terrible.
Now, there's a few more details that's coming out about the exact situation because everybody wants to know now who shot him. Now they're saying, which we like, how the hell did the LA, PD, get this type of information? But they're pretty much saying that, the person was a gang. He was involved with a gang, and they're saying that it's pretty much possibly personal situation. And you were saying that they pretty much had to know him to pretty much get that close up on him to let off 6 shots, and hitting other people, around him. So the developments will continue to come out. We'll see. But the conspiracy lane on this, first of all, we want to, respect him and his family and all that. So we don't want to go too much on a tangent with it, but those immediately start to come out. People start to begin to talk about his age. They begin to talk about the Dr. Sabi, which is a segment that we have in here, him producing that documentary, and pretty much what he meant as far as progress in the Black community. Yeah. I'm seeing that conversation come out a lot, and a lot of people are saying, well, maybe the government, killed Nipsey Hussle. Saying, man, what do you think about the conspiracies that obviously we know are going to continue to flow, coming out on Nipsey Hussle right now?
I understand it. I'm not mad at it necessarily because you want a reason. Everyone's just looking for a fucking reason why something terrible like this would happen. And everybody's out here formulating something in their head that they really genuinely don't know. And we can all pick and point out to a lot of different things that we really genuinely can't explain. If presented to us, we can't explain it. But it ultimately came down to someone that was hating on him of his own kind. And that's the disgusting part about it. It was someone, because like we said, this is a neighborhood where Nipsey Hussle found very good comfort. He was in his own neighborhood, his own establishment. There was no imminent threat. Like if there was, let's say, a government or somebody like that were to come up and do something like that, I think he would have seen that a little faster than he did someone that he knew or was comfortable with. That's just my opinion. And on top of the fact that I think that they play a little bit different in 2019, maybe gave him a disease or something, if we were going to talk about conspiracy, all while being respectful, of course, because I think that this was somebody jealous, somebody that was hating on him, somebody that was of our own that destroyed a legacy.
Should Nipsey Hussle have been there? Because a lot of people, are saying, and I've seen even brothers that were close to it kind of even talking about this, that when you get your success and you get your fame, you have to remove yourself from that environment. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we're seeing now that a lot of rappers, entertainers are being killed or robbed right in their hometowns, where they think that it's the safest at. Should Nipsey have been there and been so vulnerable at that time, in your opinion?
So, it's a catch-22, man, because why take and grind all your life in a place only to leave it and know that the people that was grinding with you are starving and hurting too? And what I mean by that is because, like, you got jealous people, envious people, and things like that. But one story that I was hearing from Nipsey is one of the people or one of the tenants in that development used to hate his people, hate Black people in there, even doing business. So he used to take the chairs out so that they couldn't sit there. They get their stuff and leave, their stuff and leave. And something that he took pride in is being able to buy up most of them stores and now having him as a tenant that he has to rent out to. So now he's his boss. That was something that he took pride on. That made me think of you and I, like, okay, that's something that we would do. Yeah, it would be different to go here or go there, but what kind of impact would it make to do it right here in the soil that we walked on? So I kind of understand the perspective, but then I get the fact that you have people that are just going to be hating on you for that fucking reason and that reason only, just because you were successful and they aren't. And they have the one up on you because they know your moves. So it's a catch-22, man.
Well, everybody's talking about, the tweet, before I get to the tweet that Nipsey put out, I would just say this, man. I think that it's good, to go back and help, them and all that. That's what he was doing. I say that he was actually, living amongst these type of people, but you do have to kind of get away. You know what I mean? Take your family out of there and put them in a safe, possible, location, because you got, people who are hungry in this area, that are you got stick up kids, you got people who just shoot you, you got people who will just come take it just because this is the way that the society is set up. You got the haves, you got the have-nots, and the have-nots are always looking to hunt down. They're too lazy to go out there and do it themselves, so they'll go and they'll take it from somebody else. So I'm not blaming him, You know what I mean? Because anybody can be caught. He was chilling with his kid. The pictures come up. They show him just before he got shot. His daughter, I think that was, beside him. So he's chilling. You know what I mean? Shorts and everything. Probably that's the furthest thing from his mind. But I just think with the rash of, Chink Drugs getting killed, Biggie, Pac, now him and countless other people being killed right in their own, vicinity, their own neighborhoods, that they got to take better precaution 24/7, because you never know. You know what I mean? Obviously, it was his store, so people know that. Obviously, he's going in and out of here. You leave yourself open, you know what I mean, in any situation. And it's hard because you ain't thinking that shit. Like, say if you in your hometown, up the street or something, you out there, you get a cut or something, you get some juice out of the store. You ain't thinking they're gonna come up on you and spray you, but I think that people need to take that precaution at all times now. Need to be like the president, wherever they go. Need to have security at this point, and security that's willing to pull out and shoot back at this point. Imagine if you'd had two people there with guns that lit that dude up, and then we would know who he was because he'd be laying on the ground. Yeah,
I mean, it could be a crazy situation. Man, who knows? We can all jump to conclusions and make speculations, and that's a great what's the word I'm looking for? A great analysis from the perspective that you give, and I agree with you on that. It's just a shame that somebody had to, like I said, lose their father, lose their son, lose their husband, and for no reason, no apparent reason. And I don't like the fact that they jumped to gang. Now I know that this dude may have been gang affiliated, and the gentleman or the piece of shit that shot him may have quote unquote been gang affiliated. But let's keep this perspective in mind. Nipsey Hussle was way more than a quote unquote gangster. Let's stop throwing him in this realm that this was supposed to happen, or this was the life that you live when you live this life, because that's the narrative that's going to be steered in the mainstream media once they get a hold of this. And let's have some proper perspective when it comes to that. Yeah, Nipsey Hussle did what he had to do when he was young in the environment that he had to live in. Nobody's justifying it. Nobody's saying this. It's the life he had to live. He grew out of it, and look where he came out of it. Let's look at the man now, and let's not look at where he was, because a lot of people, once we point fingers, can have a lot of skeletons in their closet. We could be critical of all of them. Look at where our president is. So let's not do that. But we got to understand that, yes, this was a hater who may have had a color on, whether it been one or another. But let's stop throwing that gang stigma out there, because even though it's just bad, it looks bad, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm seeing a lot of things come up, on my screen, as we speak about the Nipsey. Things are coming out, pretty much every hour, at this point, probably every minute right now. So, stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, it's a sad situation. Everybody's talking about, the tweet that he put out, and I'll pull it up right here. It says, having strong enemies is a blessing. And obviously, I mean, he put that in the circumstance, and now the tweet now gets that's in scrutiny right now. Do you think that Nipsey, now that they're saying that the dispute was personal in nature, did he have an issue maybe with somebody, and somebody was looking to get payback or revenge? Do you think that could be possibly the case here?
It could. I mean, nobody knows. It could very well be. Like I said, no one knows. You have to keep all hypotheses out there right now open for speculation, because until we get further evidence, and we should be getting all the evidence, because LA is loaded with cameras, and there's a camera on every block. There's a camera in that development. So I'm sure the LAPD has all of it laid out right now.
Well, I'm going to actually talk about this development right here. It says, this is by way of the source.com, says the LAPD reportedly have a suspect in a Nipsey Hussle murder. Now says the New York Daily News reveals they have spoken with a source close to the LAPD homicide detectives who stated they have a suspect in the shooting, and the person is someone who Nipsey knew. They say the motive is stated to be a deal going wrong between the two, but unfortunately may be classified as gang related due to the affiliation of Nipsey Hussle. Now the report also details the murder does not seem to be an act of a rival gang, and we know Nipsey was scheduled to actually meet with the LAPD, I think, commissioner, to talk about how they can kind of cease gang violence. You know what I mean? So obviously he wasn't banging like that no more. We know he kind of moved on from that, and was kind of trying to get back to the positive aspects of what the gangs originally started for. But yeah, so what do you think about this report coming out by way of the source.com? Apparently they have a suspect close to catching.
Well, that makes sense, and they should, and that's a good sign, because like I was saying, they got cameras everywhere, and they should have been able to get apparently he shot 3 men. He shot Nipsey Hussle 6 times, then fled on foot, jumped in a car, dipped off, and apparently it was a girl driving. All of that shit's on camera. Even for where the car was going, driving, every stoplight, all that, they all got it.
Facts,
all got cameras. So you've seen it. We knew this should happen quickly, and if it didn't happen quickly, there was more to this story that now we could dive into some conspiracy. But nonetheless, we knew that within the next 24 to 48 hours, they were going to have whoever did this, the suspect at hand.
Right.
The fact that he knew him does not surprise me at all because, like I said, Nipsey Hussle was in a very comfortable situation. He was in a comfortable space where if a threat was imminent, he would have been able to see it 10 miles away. Whoever would have been able to see it 10 miles away. You see people giving narrative and testimony to Nipsey Hussle and what he's done for the people out there to clean up the drugs, to clean up the robberies, to clean up the violence because of various jobs and establishments, businesses that he's opening up and providing for the economy out there and giving people a second chance. So he's respected. So no one's going to be able to run up on him and do that unless he was somebody that he knew. Right. And jealous, disgust. Now, when you say a business deal going wrong, you got to also keep in mind, although they may keep it gang affiliated, and that's very disgusting. If he does go back to his neighborhood, they're very well going to be people that still do the same thing he did. So yeah, okay. Well, is it too far-fetched to think that somebody else might have had the same colors as him, but not have done the same thing? But you can easily throw them in this box because they did it when they were children. Like, we got to get off of that. They throwing gang around.
I mean, the thing is, you know, they do, but you see, the thing is like, yo, we got the self-hate, man, in the black community, man, is at an all-time high. For people to be killing each other like this, man, just to get back to that, like, even if it was, like, does he got to go kill somebody? No. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, there's other, you know, ways to go about it. So there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in this situation. Obviously, it's just, you know, I'm sure somebody got killed in LA. More people got killed in LA. People got killed here, there, and everywhere. But we were talking about this right now. But to me, it's something that's going to continue, you know, to happen until conditions, you know, change. You know, it just is what it is with that thing.
What conditions do we see change? Because like you were saying in the pre-production, it's cool to say the rest in peace and we got to stop the violence and stuff. But when are the cliches going to stop and some action are going to happen? And
well, Nipsey was a guy who was starting, you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that he became a victim in that. He was a guy who, you know, came from these, you know, type of extremities, you know what I mean? In the ghettos and whatnot, drug dealing, robbing, you know, joined up with a gang and whatnot, probably put in work and all that. Turned his life around and said, look, man, not only am I going to, you know, do this thing in music, but I'm going to turn around and do it in the marijuana business. I'm going to turn around and do it in real estate. I'm going to become an all around mogul at what I do. And me doing that is just going to, you know, inspire more brothers to do that. Just the way he can inspire them negatively with his rag, talking all that gang shit. He turned it around to influence them positively. And that's what it's going to take. You know what I mean? People like me and you seeing Nipsey and trying to do that where we're at, and more brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, doing that, because it's easy to follow the negative stuff. You know what I mean? How many people we grew up with that probably in prison or dead right now just doing negative stuff. So, you know, that's what I take from this whole, you know, situation. It's not going to be easy. You know, we got a whole history of a whole bunch of things. People are going through a whole bunch of things, but I think if each person that watches this takes it upon themselves to try to do better, and that's all I can say.